Hello and welcome to this short video where I want to give you a demonstration of the latest update to my watch list tool known as LMBFWatchlist. Now you'll see I have an empty chart here in front of me, so I'm just going to drag the indicator onto the chart. Select OK, and you'll see to the right we get a list of automatically created watch lists. Now these ones are based firstly on the category set up by the particular broker for your current account, and then a series of additional watch lists which are created for all Australian pairs or Canadian pairs or Swiss pairs and so forth, as well as one for all the major currency pairs, which is essentially a combination of all these other watch lists that have been created. So just to start off with, I'm just going to select all Australian pairs, and you'll see that you get all the pairs, major currency pairs with Australia in it. Across the top you get a list of colours, you have the title, next down you have a reset icon here which essentially resets the colour and the trend you have set for this particular symbol, and you have a drop down arrow here which allows you to select a different watch list. So let's for now go to all major pairs just to give a longer list. Now the first thing to notice is that the currently selected chart, which is the USD Canadian dollar, is shown in red, and all the others that are available are in blue. Now you can change this by the parameters, and I'll come back to that at the end of this presentation. So firstly, if you want to change a chart quickly, you can just click on any one of these symbols and it will change it there and then. So if I click on euro dollar, you instantly go to the euro dollar on the same time frame. Similarly, if I click on CAD Swiss, it goes to the CAD Swiss. So this means it's only really need to have one chart open rather than having lots of different charts open, which historically has been what I have done but no longer do. Now there's a couple of things I've done here. You see you have the color selecting, where you can click on the icon and it literally rotates through the color list that you have at the top. So it starts from empty or light grey, goes to red, green, blue, yellow, and then back to light grey. Similarly, you have a trend direction. So if, for example, you might think this is trending upwards at the moment, you can select on this arrow and set it to up, or you can change it to down, sideways, or back to the default setting. Now the great thing about this is that both the colour you assign to the symbol and the direction is stored centrally against just this symbol. So whenever this symbol comes up in a different watch list, it will retain the same colour and direction. So for example, this is the list all major pairs. I'm going to set the Aussie CAD to red, the Aussie New Zealand to green, and say the Aussie dollar to blue. I'm going to put an uptrend on the Aussie Swiss and a downtrend on the Aussie yen. Then I'm going to change to the Aussie pairs. And you can see that these have all been retained. If I go back to the original list, again, they're all retained. So these are common across all the watch lists. If I want to quickly reset everything in this watch list, I can just click on this lightning strike here and it resets it back. So again, when you click on all Aussie pairs, it's all clean again. And back to all major pairs, still clean. So now I just want to click on a few just to give an example of what you can do. I'm just doing this fairly randomly for now. Get a few different colours in place and a few different arrow directions. Now what you can do is if you want to just view all the blue coloured symbols from across all your watch lists, then you can literally just click on this and it'll show you just the blue ones. Now in this instance I've only chosen blue on this one watch list. However, let's say I go to the pound items as well and I add in another 3 yellow ones. So I go to all pound pairs, so let's say that yellow, that yellow, that yellow. Now if I go back to the all major pairs, So you've got all these additional yellow ones, and if I go back to all pound pairs, got 3 there, click on that and see you've got 4, because there was also a non-pound pair being a Swiss yen, which was highlighted in the all major pairs, and which also obviously comes up under all Swiss pairs. Now the great thing about this is you can literally go through all your currency symbols and maybe set the trend that you've identified on a particular time frame, let's say the daily chart, and then you can come to the individual all Aussie pairs and you can see, oh, maybe 4 out of 6 of them are pointing upwards for the Aussie or showing a strong Aussie, so you can understand whether the Aussie is strong across all the currency pairs. Now if you decide you just want to reset all the blue ones, you can literally click on the blue, or actually let's do yellows because there's more of them. We can reset the yellows using here, pound yen, but everything else still stays the same. So it's literally just the yellow pairs. If we bring up all major pairs again, you can see that all the yellow pairs have gone. Now just a quick note, if you want to show the red, for example these reds, click on that, go click on it again to go back to the original list. And that will always remember where you were before clicking on the colour. So for example, let's go to all Aussie pairs, we've got 1 red there, click on red, we've got the 2 red, click on that, brings us back to all Aussie pairs. Now the next thing I want to do is show you how to create your own watch list. You'll notice in these pre-built ones, there's no option for adding or removing symbols. However, let's say you want to create a list based on all the major pairs. Just select that particular list, check the drop down list, and then enter the name of the list, whatever you want to call it. So let's say my list, my list, and press enter. And then if you drop that list down, you see you've got a list, my list, which is all these currency pairs, exactly as it was in the commodity, my all major currencies. And that works exactly the same. So let's say you can click on these dollar ones at the bottom. If you go to all major pairs, you can see that these are still selected at the bottom. Now the difference is with my list, you can actually remove a symbol, remove a whole load of them, and it will shrink this list. If we go back to all major pairs, it's got the whole list there. Go back to my list, it's just the ones that you've left. Let's say you want to add in the Kiwi dollar again, just type it in and it adds it onto the end of the list again, retaining the colour that was set in one of the other lists, as well as the direction of course. Last thing to show you regarding particular lists is if you want to get rid of my list, just go down, select that drop down to display all the available lists, click on the cross and it goes, select the new list to go to, all Swiss pairs, and there you go. The last thing I want to show you is how you can have multiple charts up, and these will synchronize across the charts. So you might have one for daily, one for 4 hour, one for 1 hour for instance, but I was going to do 2, so I'll just add in another chart, let's say USD Swiss. Now my default includes this particular watch list, so I don't have to add it again. I'm just going to tile my icons, so my charts. And you can see that as soon as I've added this default with the watch list involved, then it defaults to exactly the same as on the other chart. So just demonstrate that, if I remove the indicator from that chart, it disappears. Let's change a few of these. Let's go to the pound pairs and let's set the euro pound to red. Now I'm just going to drop the watch list onto here and see that it's on the pound pairs with the euro pound set to red. If we change any one of these, let's set that to green, see it automatically changes here. You can change the watch list, Canadian pairs, changes here, so these are kept exactly in sync whatever you do. One other thing you can do is if you want to actually hide this particular list, if you just click on the name of the list, it will shrink it down so you just have the heading columns. In this particular case, it only works on the one chart, so you have to go to each chart to hide it. Maybe see which ones have moved closer to the area that you're interested in. So just a couple of further tips. Firstly, if you have a list of, let's create a long list of blue items based on the order major pairs, or let's select the red list actually. You see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 red pairs on there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, if you have the color selected and then you just go and change maybe 1 or 2 of them, they don't instantly disappear from that list. It lets you select all the individual ones you want to change before, but if you then click on this twice and bring it back, it will just show you the 4 ones. That's really for easy and flexible use. Lastly, if you want to, if you prefer working with a dark black background, this will accommodate that. So I'll just go to the properties and select green on black. Okay on that, and you can see that the color of the text changes accordingly, as well as the arrows coming a slightly better green for you to see on that black background. Last thing, if you go to the properties of that list, you can see that you can actually change the preferred font size. So let's say we're going to go to a smaller font size. I'll just change that to 8. Okay, you see it's got a little bit smaller. Personally, I prefer 10. Something a little bit old. My eyesight's not as it used to be. You can change the color, default color for the text. So let's say we're going to choose a blue text. Okay, that, and see that the default text color now changes to blue. And the last thing is you can select the offset from the top of the chart. So currently it's 40, but let's say you had something else at the top of the chart you wanted to see, so you need to move down. Let's put that as 140 now. You can see it moves down. So very flexible, even if you want to use with other tools. So that concludes this presentation. I hope that it's been useful and everything is clear on how well this tool can be used. If you have any questions, then feel free to email me at graham@letmebefree.com. That's Graham spelt Graeme @ letmebefree.com. Thanks very much for watching.